both had jobs working as lifeguards at Northeast Swim Club in Lebanon, Pennsylvania. Northeast has since shut down, which is of no surprise at all. It was pretty gross. The water was perpetually green. It didn't matter pH level, chlorine level, it was just always green. And the structural integrity of this place was problematic. It was really old, it was moldy. The bathrooms were like a cube of windowless cement block. It looked like if someone was a hostage in a movie, they would be placed in Northeast bathroom. And it was a really fun place to work, though. I got to work with my sister. My sister and I are very close. Her name is Steph, and we had a couple buddies that worked there, too, so it was always fun being on shift with people we knew and liked. I like to think that Steph and I were one of the higher-level employees. We would pick up shifts when we needed to. We would always show up on time. We would do all the tasks that we were assigned to do, including vacuuming. We would pretend to vacuum because the vacuum is always broken, so that's something. So I didn't think it was that big of a deal if I stole candy from the snack bar every once in a while. But I didn't. I could say some things about Northeast Swim Club, but their snack bar was top notch. They had my favorite candy. They had Sour Patch Watermelon. So every once in a while, I would take a small plastic cup and I would scoop Sour Patch Watermelon and I would treat myself. And occasionally, I influenced Steph, and she would say, "Can you get me some Swedish fish?" And I would say yes, and we would enjoy our candy. One day, I did go overboard. I stole a Chipwich. For those who don't know, 2 chocolate chip cookies, ice cream in the middle. It was a hot day. I didn't have anything to eat. I didn't feel guilty about it. Like, I didn't feel bad at all. Until one Sunday evening, Steph and I are eating family dinner with our parents, and the home phone rings. Steph sees that it's Northeast calling, so she picks up. And I've always felt that my sister and I have had an element of telepathy. I still think that. And when she picked up that phone that day, I felt panic. And I craned my head to meet her. And her eyes are communicating to me exactly that, full-on panic. And all she says is, "Okay," and she hangs up the phone. And she says, "We have to go to Northeast right now. The police are there, and they want to talk to us." I know. And for a moment, we just stare at each other like frozen, because we're both thinking the same thing. We're going to prison for stealing candy. Like, we're going. This is it. This is it. I put down my fork, and I look at my parents for the last time as an innocent child, and for the first time as a felon. And we get into my sister's car, and for a long time we don't say anything. The tension is palpable. Her hand is shaking as she puts the car in reverse. And after a couple minutes, she finally says, "We should just confess. We should just tell them right now, like, it was us, and we'll offer to pay them back." And I said, "They don't want our money. They don't want us to pay them back, or else they would have asked us about it and asked them for the money. They want us to be arrested. That's why the police are there." And another couple minutes go by in this tense car ride, and I say, "It was me. I'll confess. I did the stealing. I went too hard, too fast with the Chipwich. It was too much. It was my fault. I'll take the hit." And she says, "You're too young to go to jail." And I said, "You're too anxious to go to jail." And we never really come to a conclusion on this car ride. I just remember arriving and being like really nervous and teary-eyed. And I know my inner monologue from the parking lot to the clubhouse was like, "Maybe my parents will forgive me in a couple years and visit me in prison, and it will be okay." We get there, and 2 police officers are seated at one of those plastic, classic swim club tables with their hands folded on it. They say, "Take a seat." Calmly walk over. We don't make eye contact because cops can smell fear. And we take a seat, and they say, "We just have one question to ask you." And I'm like, "This is it." They say, "Several $100s is missing from the cash box. Do you know anything about this?" I say, "No." Steph says, "No." We just sort of wait there, expecting a follow-up question, maybe something like, "Several hundred Sour Patch Watermelon are missing. Do you know anything about this?" And it never comes, and we just wait there, like sweaty and nervous, to the point where they have to dismiss us and let us know, like, "You can leave." We're like, "Oh, okay." So We stand up. We still don't make eye contact because cops can also smell guilt. So we calmly walk to the parking lot. But as soon as we step foot onto the parking lot, oh my God, the wave of relief was so strong. I've never felt so happy about someone committing a crime. I hug my sister. We are teary-eyed again just with the relief of the fact that we're not going to prison for stealing candy today. And I felt that that was a very important bonding moment I had with my sister. Like, we weren't gonna let each other go to jail alone. Like, I feel like that's an important sibling bond to create. And I also learned that the emotional risk of stealing candy just isn't worth it. So thank you, Northeast, for that lesson, and thank you all for listening.